you switched, started getting healthier. What were you doing in those teenage years and into your young adult to kind of like change that?
Well, it started with me just, getting to a place where I was actually more fearful of the future that was staring me in the face based on my habits at the time. And I explain it like I just was looking at myself in the mirror one day after getting out of the shower, and it was just like instant shock. It was the first time I really acknowledged my physique at that point at 15. And I broke down in this very cathartic, ugly sob, it was very, I got a lot of release from that emotion, because obviously I was building a lot. And,
sure.
But I came out of the bathroom with this desire to not be like that anymore. And I just knew I had to move away from where I was. And what I mean by that was just start doing things I wasn't doing. And the things that I was doing, I just acknowledged that I should probably stop doing that as much. Yeah. Like eating the certain foods and just not moving my body, playing video games all day and watching movies, I said, I got to start moving and I got to just eat differently. Now I had zero knowledge or understanding what that meant, but this is all, my kids, they always laugh because I'm like, I went to the library, got books out on fitness and nutrition. I'm at age 15. I'm just driving.
It's the equivalent of Googling it now, right? Or looking up a YouTube video. Why don't you just
Google it, Dad? I'm like, I'm older than Google. You guys have no idea what the world is like, And it was good though, because I educated myself and that gave me clarity, but it also started to give me a bit of confidence on what to start doing. And I just started biking every day, started changing how I ate. Within about a month, I started to experience what I felt was a really positive win. There was a big hill that I would be on my bike ride. And the first couple of weeks, I'd have to walk the bike up the hill.
Yeah.
But it was about a month in, I'm like attacking that hill. And I got all the way to the top without getting off the bike. And that's where it really clicked for me that, my goodness, changes are happening. And that got me more excited. And, 20 months later, I released the weight, really established some new health routines. I started doing strength training, a bit of cardio, but I really loved the weights. Did you kind of
change who you were surrounding yourself with, purposefully or on accident, or?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times when people around us that we align ourselves with, naturally or organically, they start to see a change in us, and it's like the blue crab's trying to pull us back down into the bucket. Yeah. No, you're not getting free. Get back down here and eat some cheese poofs. How about a 2 liter of Dr. Pepper? You want some, right? There's some of that. Did you just kind of have to remove yourself and just?
For me, it wasn't so much the friend groups that I had, because I didn't really have a lot of tight social connections. I had a few friends that I knew from when I was younger to older, but it became more pronounced, and really I was more aware of like just social influence when I moved out west from Ontario. So I grew up just outside of Toronto in Ontario, and hit 18, graduated high school. I was like, I'm moving west. Just like the song says, go west, young man. And I went west, and and I never looked back. But it was also this idea that I could sort of start fresh, and that really excited me, because I also grew up in a small town, and like people said, well, what kept you motivated to keep going? And I was like, well, to be perfectly honest, I wanted a girlfriend. I did. I wanted somebody to want me.
That's a motivating factor.
Yeah.
But like, here's what I love to hear. What I love about your story so far is what I'm hearing is, and this doesn't happen and sometimes it's by accident, but most of the time it doesn't happen this way. Most of the time we turn in, you have that sobbing moment, and you find someone or something to blame.
Yes.
And you just keep leaning on that, as opposed to taking responsibility and owning it, because at that point you keep control of doing something about it, right? As
Correct.
Opposed to, it's not my fault. It's the divorce. It's my mom's fault, or it's my dad's fault, or it's never sunny outside and it's always cold. So that's why I don't go outside. Right. Then you lose all control to do anything about it. Right. So that's what I think is really fascinating about your story, is that you got to that point and you said, nope, I'm going to get after it. And you did.
I did. And it took time. But it took me 5 years to put it on. So really taking 20 months to take it off didn't seem that bad. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and it didn't matter, because I just kept experiencing these little wins, because I also kickstarted my puberty. I was very late to puberty because it had been heavily retarded based on
absolutely. Yeah.
My lack of activity. Yeah. So I was late to mature, but as soon as I started taking care of my health, all of a sudden testosterone kicks in. I grew about 7 inches over a span of that 20 months as well. Dang. And so everything ended up working in my favor. But had I not made that change when I did, who knows what would have happened by the time I was 20, and I still like to think that I would have made some changes, but I was so focused on the exterior. And I think that's the thing, when you're younger, it's all about perception and how people perceive us. And I mean, today I look at what my kids have had to endure with just social media and that influence. I mean, we are influenced all the time, but the amount of information that's coming at us nowadays and these images that are coming at us and these subconscious sort of underpinnings of some of the marketing channels, it's harder for kids today, where I think back then I was fortunate that I didn't have to deal with a lot of that additional pressure. It was hard enough.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching one of the clips from the Business Line podcast. If you want to see the full episode, click up here.
And if you want to see more fun clips, click up here.